Well, here we have a Bowman M101. This is the very first time I've run this one since I refurbished it during the summer, and obviously caused a great furore amongst some quarters who obviously having nothing better to do than post malicious comments about paintwork and so on, but we'll forget about rubbish like that. And I've given it a couple of months for the paint to harden, and it seems to, after its characteristic slow start, got into its stride. These are always slow starters, but as a bloke said to me at Kempton earlier on this year, he was fascinated to see this go, and I said, well, if you'll have to excuse me for a moment while I try and get it going. I said it's a bit difficult to get it started, but once it gets going, it doesn't stop, and he basically said it was a bit like his wife. I don't know what he meant by that, obviously. But anyway, so this one's got into its stride now. You can hear a little bit of hissing from the safety valve. It's a mammoth safety valve on there. I've just noticed that the thread on this, like the SE3 type safety valve, is different to the one on my normal SE3. I wanted to use that one instead because it's got a better seal, but the thread actually won't fit. So are there two different sizes of SE3 safety valve? But anyway, this one's up and running now. It's had a thorough oiling before we start. It always takes a little bit of time, but I find it pays dividends later on because these obviously run for such a long time. I haven't filled the boiler up, or rather the lamp up, fully. When I got this one from Ian in Kempton earlier on this year, it put in 2 1-hour plus runs with a brimming lamp and boiler. So I just want to really satisfy myself that everything's steam tight after being put back together, and it seems to be fine. None of the paint's burning. You always get that new paint smell whenever you've resprayed fireboxes and so on. And it's a bit of a smell in the kitchen at the moment, but nothing serious. And it's just chuffing along quite nicely. It's a lovely characteristic sound. You can hear the whirring of the counter shaft and just the chuffing of that big long stroke piston. I think he's wide open now. There we go. Nice big solid brass flywheel. They've always been solid brass. I think some idiot said somewhere that his wasn't brass, it was brass on the outside and steel on the inside, or something of that description, but that's forgotten about. So there we have it. It's getting some speed up now, and running quite satisfactorily. I haven't got it running anything at the moment. We'll maybe have 2 101s hooked up to a massive workshop at some point. I've got a spare baseboard in, and that'll take these two, and it'll be nice to see them both running side by side. Lovely smell of hot oil and steam. It's quite cold in here today, so it's adding a little bit of welcome warmth. A bit like when we were at Exeter a few weeks ago. John and Mike and I were pretty damn cold until things started warming up a bit with a few people and so on. I put an extra Meccano flywheel on there. It's very good for running the workshops there. The end of the shaft is actually been turned down, so it's the same size as the normal Mamod. I think it's 1/4 inch shafting, or is it 1/8 inch? Someone will correct me. It's really nice to see this one going again. I must have run it at Kempton and at Amberley approximately 4 or 5 times, so I know it was a good runner.